Iowa's risk for contracting the coronavirus remains low, so why is the Tippy College of Business preparing for it? And later, we have an update on a student who went missing last November. Officials believe his body was found.
Winter sports are coming to an end, but Iowa's spring sports are just getting underway. I'll have the latest on them in just a few.
And later in weather, find out more about the nice temperatures we can expect later this week as we prepare for spring.
All that and more coming up on this Thursday morning edition of DITV News. Don't go anywhere. DITV News starts right now. Good morning and thank you for tuning in. I'm Kate Overton. Iowa students enrolled in the Tippy College of Business received an email that said the instructors were preparing for the novel coronavirus case. The letter said, quote, University of Iowa administrators and health experts are interacting routinely to prepare for all possible scenarios related to the virus, end quote. The university has also canceled its Japan Study Abroad program along with other study abroad countries affected by the virus, including Italy, China, and South Korea. International Programs Dean Russ Ganim said, quote, in order to ensure the health and safety of our students, we've had to cancel some programs. We continue to monitor the situation, end quote. Last year, University of Iowa student David Lee went missing. Yesterday, Johnson County Police located a body in the Iowa River. The body was transported to the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics for an autopsy and identification. The ID found on the body have led deputies to believe it is David Lee. David Lee disappeared on November 14th, and a search began that morning after UI Police Department requested for a search of a student who may have jumped into the river. A backpack that contains personal belongings to Lee was found on a nearby bridge. The body has not been positively identified yet. Former Iowa Hillel House director David Weltman was accused of sexual abuse. The alleged victim, a minor, said Weltman picked him up, took him to another room, and touched him inappropriately. The alleged victim and his mother testified about Weltman's behavior towards the minor. The testimony ended Wednesday, and now a district judge denied to acquit Weltman of the charge against him. Defense attorney Christopher Foster argues that there is not enough evidence to submit to a jury that a sex act occurred, he said following the testimony. The trial will continue today with witnesses called by the defense. And so far, so good in the month of March for this weather. We'll toss it to Grace in the weather studio, hopefully with some good news.
There's only 15 days until it's officially spring, and it sure is starting to feel like it. This morning, it's cloudy and around 42 degrees. It'll warm up a little this afternoon and remain cloudy all day. This evening, it will cool down to around 40 degrees. Tomorrow will be a beautiful and sunny day with a high of 47 and a low of 32. Saturday will be cloudy again with a high of 61 and a low of 51. Sunday will be cloudy in the high 60s. Finally, on Monday, there will be a 40% chance of rain with temperatures in the 50s. It's looking like a pretty nice week ahead of us. Let's hope this weather stays like this through March. Back to you.
Thanks, Grace. More and more presidential candidates have been dropping from the race. This past week, Amy Klobuchar, Pete Buttigieg, and Tom Steyer all dropped from the race, and following right behind was Michael Bloomberg. The former mayor of New York dropped hours after the results of Super Tuesday. Bloomberg, Buttigieg, and Klobuchar are officially endorsing Joe Biden, while Steyer endorsed Bernie Sanders. And for the first time ever, the U.S. Census Bureau is offering new options for households to record their decennial census data. Now households will be able to record their data online or by phone. Kelly Campbell, a senior lead partnership specialist for U.S. Census in Iowa, states that, quote, colleges will be allowed to enumerate the students living on campus administratively, end quote. University of Iowa students living in residence halls won't have to worry about completing their 2020 census. The University of Iowa is one of many colleges that will be participating with an electronic response data transfer. This online process will save time and money while increasing accuracy. And the month of March is madness in sports with all kinds of sports going on. We'll toss it to Zach in the sports studio to see what's up.
That's right, Kay. There is madness everywhere, but a couple weeks ago, the Iowa women's gymnastics team battled for the Big Ten championship, where they finished 4th out of 5 teams. It has been a slow year for the women Gym Hawks, but they are looking to close out the season at some non-conference meets. This year, Iowa only has 2 seniors on their team and has the roster filled with a bunch of sophomores and freshmen. One freshman in particular, who the Gym Hawks are looking to rely on this season, came down with an injury during the fall. With more on the gymnastics beat reporter, Maddie McCarran has more.
The Iowa women's gymnastics team is in the thick of its season. However, there is one Gym Hawk who has had to watch from the sidelines since December due to a season-ending injury.
Jequavia Henderson, a freshman for the Iowa women's gymnastics team, was mentioned as a Big Ten player to watch last fall. However, now she is dealing with an Achilles injury that has sidelined her for the season.
Unfortunately, only one meet into the season, Q, as her teammates and coaches call her, tore her Achilles on a springboard during practice. The Gym Hawks faced a challenging loss in their lineup and in their depth as a team.
Honestly, I'm just trying to focus on the team, do whatever I need to do to help them, get them through the season, but also focusing on myself. I'm taking this year and being selfish, focusing on my injury and making sure my mentality is right going into next season.
Yeah, she's just another person that can put up a great score. So more than anything, it was an emotional thing for this team because they're very close. So I would say it affected us first emotionally, and then we just didn't realize how much we were hitting at our depth.
Despite the injury, Jequavia is ready to rehab and recover for next season.
Staying in the weight room, staying at practice, making sure I'm in the gymnastics environment. So making sure I'm at practice every day, cheering on my teammates, getting with them whatever I need, and especially like researching my own sport, making sure I'm watching and just learning all I can.
Reporting from Carver Hawkeye Arena, this is Maddie McCarran, DITV Sports.
The Gym Hawks hope Henderson can have a healthy and speedy recovery, but there is still a long way until next season. The Hawks still have 4 regular season meets to go this year, with their next one being held tomorrow in Ames for a Cy-Hawk Series matchup. I know the Cy-Hawk Showdown always feels like a championship game, but there is one team looking to grab another championship this weekend. The Iowa women's basketball team takes to court Friday night when they take on either Ohio State or Minnesota. This year, the competition in the Big Ten has been one of the best in recent seasons. But head coach Lisa Bluter has been in this spot before, and she knows exactly what to expect.
It's nice to have the time. It's hard to win 3 games in 3 days, let alone 5 games in 5 days. And so we're excited that we get the double bye. We know that we'll be playing a really tough opponent on our first game Friday night. You know, if higher seed prevails, I think it looks great for us. We've beaten everybody that we'll face at least once this year.
Earlier this week, Monica Sinano was named first team All-Big Ten alongside Kathleen Doyle. Sinano was lucky enough to train alongside Megan Gustafson last season, and has even said seeing her work in the Big Ten tourney last year is getting her prepared for this weekend.
I didn't understand the physicality quite at the scale of playing a whole Big Ten game and just kind of how that is, and then playing them back to back to back. So just seeing how she attacked that, like how she handled things after the game to make sure she was prepared for the next game, because Megan never slowed down, ever. Every game she was still giving it 100%.
Rounding out the Women's Big Ten Awards, Mackenzie Meyer was named second team All-Big Ten, and McKenna Warnock was named to the All-Freshman team. There have been a lot of individual awards for these Hawkeyes, but we'll see if they can grab a big team award this weekend. Now swinging back to spring sports, the men's tennis team took on number 50 ranked Virginia Commonwealth University last weekend. Despite early winning the double points, the Hawks were evenly matched throughout the meet. The 3 singles matches defeating Joe Tyler, Oliver Okonkwo, and Nikki Snesko. Number 61 ranked singles senior Kareem Alof and junior Will Davies won their matches in straight sets to tie the meet at 3-3. It came down to Hawkeye senior Jason Kearse, who prevailed in an almost 2-hour-long match, including 2-set tiebreakers to win his match in 3 sets. The Hawks are back at it again tomorrow against Louisville at the Hawkeye Tennis and Recreation Center. Now come back tomorrow where we will serve up a postseason preview on all 3 winter sports. Cade, back to you.
That's all we have for you on this Thursday morning edition of DITV News. Don't go anywhere, or come back tomorrow.